Now, picking the right strategy for your Skool community is massively important, especially in the beginning. But with tiers and freemium and all of these different features and setups available, it's difficult to know what to start with and what's going to be best for you and your goals. So in this video, I'm going to cover 3 new Skool funnels that I see really working incredibly well in 2026. A lot of people have started to implement these and they're getting absolutely fantastic results. So the first one is one that I like to call the fishbowl funnel. Now, this is the most pure, simple setup of community business. It's one community and it's free forever. And now you might be thinking, Gareth, that just sounds like a normal, very simple community. And it is. But thanks to tiers and the different features that we now have, we can really utilize these to our advantage. So the fishbowl one is about being transparent in one community where you go round and round on one particular topic. So it really is a pure community setup, topic based, perhaps a little bit general in theme, especially as free. But then what you start to do is offer more targeted things inside. Now, this is fantastic for coaches, educators, but also freelancers. And I think a lot of freelancers are going to be able to utilize this to start to attract clients to them rather than going out and trying to apply for jobs on, say, Upwork and other platforms. They will actually have their own content. They will have their own community, and that will pull people in, and then they'll have the option to be able to sell their services to them. And I think for a lot of people out there who are looking to maybe replace their full-time job or get more freelancer work, this is going to be a really good one. But as I said, it works incredibly well for educators as well. So what you can do is you can actually harvest people out of your free community. So the community doesn't have to have a huge amount of training to start. It can be general topic based. You can have sort of coffee calls and general calls inside where you're helping people. Maybe you're giving some free templates and things to hook people in. But then it's really a place where you showcase your knowledge and you help people inside for free. No real agenda, a community service, probably in addition to your YouTube channel or something like that, but a way to just filter people inside that you can then harvest off clients every now and again. And this could be by doing promotional things each month, saying, I've got a few spaces available. Would you like to work with me? Would you like my particular help? I'm opening this up. And you just keep doing that every few weeks to get new clients of people that may potentially want to work with you. Or you could offer many different services inside. Perhaps you could say, people have been asking me how to set up this particular web page. So I'm going to be doing that for a few people. If you would like to know how to do it, I'm going to do a weekend event, or I'm going to be doing this where I'm working one-on-one, or I'm offering this service now. You can offer many different things inside. So it's not really necessarily about having one particular thing. But where I see this working incredibly well is where you actually start to have different products and services that unlock inside. And I'm going to show you an example of someone using this really well. But this is where the transparency part works well, and the sort of fishbowl mentality where you can encourage people to be more active. So now, thanks to the different tiers system inside, we can actually unlock levels based on your activity. So as you move up the leaderboard, you can unlock stuff, or you can unlock the level of premium by paying directly. So maybe you don't want to be someone that's active inside and you just want to get the information now. So as we see information becoming cheaper and cheaper, a lot of people that have larger communities or a lot more people coming in and the more low ticket, they're finding it better that you either pay with your time or you pay with their money, you literally pay with money. But they're also leveling up in many different ways and having a lot more products inside to be able to make more passive money. So what they may do on, say, YouTube with products and services and so on, they're moving that inside the community itself. And the community is becoming the hub of their business. So they're also selling needed products inside. So you've got courses and things that unlock through activity or through payment, and then ones that are just courses that you can just pay for. And then you've got products that are needed for the different trainings that you may do for free inside that get people to look inside and they start to get invested in what it is. Maybe you've got some free training that you're giving them and they're working their way through the free training, but they realize, oh, I actually need some tools or equipment to be able to do this. So even if people never upgrade to your coaching programs or your courses, they might still be making small purchases inside the community itself. Now, again, obviously this works with volume, but a great example of this is a Skool community and YouTuber that I really like. He's fantastic. He's got a very alternative view of fitness. He believes in, yes, getting bigger, but it's more about functionality and doing it in different ways. So he looks at rope flow, he looks at using big metal maces and loads of strange pieces of equipment that he comes up with, but it's all sort of body weight and more old-fashioned types of training. Now, he used to do the simple free to paid, one free community, one paid community, and he was doing a subscription model, and all of his training was locked behind the paid community, and he would try and filter people into that. And I've seen him completely switch this, and even before freemium arrived, I saw that he was doing less and less in his paid community because he realized the free one was where it was at. That's where most of the attention was. And his free community is about 25,000 people now. And what he realized was he was actually making more money, I think, from the ropes and so on and all the tools that he sells through his shop. So it was better to actually give them some free training and then incentivize them to unlock when freemium came along. And now he obviously unlocks lots of different programs that were in his paid community, which he still has, but it's dropped down to about a quarter of the people. So I think he's no longer investing in it, and I see him no longer really pushing it on his YouTube channel. So he's gone all in on one community where you can unlock at levels. There's other courses inside, but otherwise it's all about getting people to take action because he knows that means that you're going to be maybe wanting to get on the coaching calls at some part. So he's got premium and VIP. So as you get more invested, there's going to be levels that you move up. But in the very short term, maybe just buying a rope and trying things out is going to be the lower level. So that's free, but he makes money from the rope. So this is how I see the sort of fishbowl, simple topic-based communities that you monetize in a variety of different ways really working. So the pure topic-based community, free for life, is a great model to work with. The next one is one that I like to call self-liquidating members. Now, this is a play on an old strategy that used to work, which was called self-liquidating funnels or self-liquidating offers. And this is when I used to build funnels. People are reusing it now, this strategy, and they're calling it new. Like most things online, they're not new, they're just new to the different platform or methodology, but the psychology of the selling and the actual way that it works is basically the same. So self-liquidating members, the idea is that you go from something very small and then you elevate people to something much higher. And a couple of people I've seen doing this very well in the last month has been Max Persson. He did this with a launch, and also Patrice Moore. She did this with a launch as well. So those are two people that have started testing this out, and they're going on about it quite a bit. But it is a strategy that I think could be very good for many people, especially people potentially running ads. So let's get into it. So this is basically a paid to paid funnel. So a paid to paid funnel. But you start with low ticket. So what you would normally do if this was a normal funnel and no community would be that you would have a low ticket item that was very appealing and very in demand, that maybe had a lot of value, but you were selling it really, really cheap with the idea to get people in the front door, get them to make an initial payment. So they're actually a customer, not just a freebie person. And then you had a high ticket upsell inside. So then you would sell them something high ticket. So you didn't care so much about this. This is ultimately what you wanted to sell people on. But you have a more active people coming inside because they've already invested to some degree, or you've at least made some money on the front end. But it needs to feel like a low one-time payment. And how they're doing this is they're using annual, because annual kind of feels like a one-time lifetime payment these days. Anything after a year, people tend to forget about it anyways. So you don't really have to guarantee that they stay. But maybe they like the community and they actually want to stay inside anyways. So you might get a reoccurring annual small, tiny payment out of them anyways. But generally what I see working is $17 to $29 per year. So really think low ticket one time, but on that sort of level. And then from here, what we want to do is the idea is that let's say you were doing it with ads, or maybe you were doing it with organic content, but you were measuring it in time. So let's say you worked out how much your time was worth to produce videos to get the content, and you broke it down in that sense. So you understood how much roughly it cost you per lead. But the idea is that we cancel out the cost of getting that lead or that member in the first place. So let's say I spend $27 to get one member into my community. But that member, when they join with that low ticket thing, spends $27. That means that it's self-liquidating. The $27 cancels itself out, and you pay $0 per lead, meaning whoever buys the high ticket is 100% profit. And obviously, if you can get your cost per lead down to, say, $15, then you're actually going to be making a profit on the front end, and you can scale that massively. So that's the benefit of it, is that you actually get paid to generate more members inside. So it's a great one, especially if you are running ads as well, or you're looking to scale later on. You do need quite a bit of an audience, because obviously it's not going to convert as well as free. So you do want to make sure that you're getting plenty of traffic coming in the front end. The next one is something I like to call the reverse ladder. So the reverse ladder is more of a freemium setup. So this is a more classic freemium setup where it's free on the front end. But what we do is we go to high and then to low. So what we're doing is actually reversing the ladder. So the self-liquidating funnel, and sort of in the past when you were doing funnels, you almost always started with something free to low ticket or low ticket, and you gradually went up the ladder in price. Now that's not working quite as well as information's got cheaper. People have become more savvy. So there's a number of different setups that are working and aren't working, depending on how much authority that you carry, how much proof you have, and how much traffic you're getting. But this is essentially a free to paid funnel. So the freemium progression, if you will. And how this starts is that high is basically the new low. It's easier to sell to the few people at the beginning, and it's much better for you because you're able to get results faster, you're able to get more money faster, and you're not having to sell hundreds of people before you've got the authority to do that, which would make it almost impossible. And this is where people tend to burn out, because they're trying to make lots of sales where they don't have the weight, authority, or the traffic to really make that happen in the beginning. So what we do is we go free, get people inside, we nurture them, we then go to some form of high ticket, and then we scale with a lower ticket reoccurring one. So what most people is they try to do is go free to low ticket, but you're not going to get that right away, because you need to be able to work with a few people to get the proof and the results and so on, and then you scale. So what we do is we go high ticket to low ticket, and then you have the choice of whether you want to do free to high ticket, and then you scale later on, and you go, okay, now we're getting busier, we're going to automate more, and we're going to go free to premium monthly subscription, and then offer sometimes the high ticket. You could obviously stop the high ticket completely and focus on one thing if you wanted. But the benefit of the high ticket and offering that intermittently, such as doing the odd promotion inside or saying I've got a couple of spots available, is that you then manage to produce a bit of extra money for some people that will always want to work with you directly. So maybe as you're gradually growing this and scaling, you can keep bringing in some more money with the VIP high ticket, but you're mainly pushing this one as you're moving forward and starting to scale. And this is really good for free traffic, because you've got a free community. You're able to nurture people inside. So it's attraction marketing. It's not salesy. It's not spammy. You're able to sell to the few much easier. Getting proof is much easier because you're going to work with people directly to start. And it doesn't need much traffic. You don't need a huge amount of members inside. You'll always be able to convert a small percentage of people as you talk to them, you get to know them. Some people will want to work with you. And for earning while you scale, this is the great thing. If I sell low ticket, but I'm only getting a small amount of traffic, it's going to be really boring amounts of money, not inspiring. You're going to be working very hard for very few. Now that will compound over time if you've got enough traffic, but it's not that exciting, not that sexy. So we really want to be trying to earn while we scale. So that's why I'm a big fan of this particular strategy. And it's actually the one that I personally use in my funnel inside my community. So if you'd like to check out that community and to come join us and learn more about growing your community and also building a profitable community around YouTube, then I will link to that in the video description. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.